For my throat. My throat is fine. It's the brain. Oh my god. So how many hours did I sleep today? I slept, I think, like 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours sleep today. After the cast last night and stuff. So I'm still gathering my bearings, and an hour-long game did not help at all. But here we go. Oh, the predictions! I forgot. Okay, predictions, finals. Let's go. Grand finals, pal. Predictions are open. Place your bets in the chat for who you think is going to be this week's champion in ESL Open Cup Americas. Is it going to be the Zerg or the Protoss? This morning in the bottom left-hand corner of Altitude, we have the Danish Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player who surprisingly did not need a break, jumping right into the next series like it was nothing. Representing Onside Gaming, it is Solar. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, we are getting into this, and alas, we are here in the grand finals, a best of 5 between the lands of Europe and Korea. Solar has been having the luxury of, you know, taking a bit of a rest, getting some food, getting some water, getting ready here for the grand finals. He had plenty of time to prepare himself. Oh boy. But is that a good thing or a bad thing? Now, MaxPax is a degen. We know this. MaxPax and Clem both. MaxPax is consistently here for ESL Open Cup Americas, despite the fact that it is a terrible time in the land of Denmark. I'm just quickly checking. It is 5 a.m. 5 a.m. in Denmark. That's the middle of the day for MaxPax. That's he's good to go, Pop. He's good. So, are you worried that he's gonna be falling asleep? Nah, mate. You know, he's used to it. He likes it. He likes being awake until the sun rises. That is when MaxPax sleeps. There you go. Vampire confirmed. Really, that's the real reason why we don't have MaxPax on cams. The reason for it is because we wouldn't see anything. We would not see any MaxPax. He doesn't have a reflection. He is hashtag Team Edward. Is that his name? Edgewood? I know, Papi. Oh no. It's over. Alright, so we're getting into this. So far, Hatchgas full opener here from Solar. Everything's looking normal. Everything's looking standard. Likewise, MaxPax goes for a Stargate opener himself. Oh, yo, things. They're about to pop off. Things are about to pop off. Let's go. Let's go. Standard openers all around, leading into aggression. Don't forget to stretch, everyone. Don't forget to hydrate your hydras, stretch your roaches, massage your marines, and drain your disruptors, and get ready for the grand finale of the Americas. Now, because we're on altitude, this can actually lead into a longer game as well. We have seen split map scenarios. We have seen Sky Toss versus late game Zerg on this map before. Is MaxPax one to go for it? I did see in the chat, MaxPax does not play long game or late game PvZ. I don't know if that's true. I do think that he can be very aggressive in the early game, 100%, 100%. Yeah, I hope that the case is true, that MaxPax wouldn't be willing to slow the game down to a crawl. I like to believe that isn't the case, but we'll see. We shall see. As first Oracle does go across the map, is going to be denied by these queens. They do push him away. We do have a Spore on the way in the main base and in the natural as well. The Spore coming in for MaxPax. Sorry, the Oracle coming in for MaxPax. Once again, it does get denied. So good defense so far from Solar. Doesn't lose anything. Is going for a fast Evo chamber. This will be for fast +1 melee, which is the go-to when going up against the Blinkstalker style of Protoss. Ooh, you love to see it. MaxPax pulling apart the attention of Solar, getting 4 drone kills already. Very nicely done. punishing Solar for not having a Spore here in the mineral line. Behind this, MaxPax is going for Forge and +1. This is looking like Blink Stalkers from MaxPax, and I'm sure Solar is happy with that, content, especially considering that he's going for +1 melee. As you can imagine, the attack rate of Stalkers is quite low. They have a lot of surface area to work with as well, so surrounds, engagements can be in favor of Lings. So this is what you want to be going for when going up against Blink Stalkers from the Protoss player. Meanwhile, the Oracles are joining forces. 2 Oracles dive into the natural base. Spore is done, but we don't care about no Spore. We dive in anyway. 3 more drones go down. How many in total? 7 drones in total. MaxPax not losing a single unit. Now the Adepts have arrived as well, keeping the aggression up, keeping up the tempo here, and drones are falling left and right. We have Adepts in the natural. We have Adepts at the third base as well. Solo does pull away in time. He's going to be preserving his workers. He doesn't want to come back too soon. Oh. As 11 drones have gone down. I would say that from that, MaxPax has a pretty strong advantage, as you know what, he's not done. He still has more Oracles out there. Meanwhile, +1 at melee still not done, but the Lings do go for a counterattack. They do shut down at least the Adepts, but they don't get on top of the Stalkers. There's a shield battery, there's an overcharge. The Stalkers are safe and sound. Lings are still looking for a way to do some kind of counter damage, as Solar has been bleeding out a little bit too much. Initially, you know, 7 to 8 drones, like, that's acceptable losses, but now that we're getting into 13, this is a little bit much, especially considering that MaxPax hasn't lost any of his Oracles. He lost his Adepts, but the Oracles have all survived. Meanwhile, I love this from Solar. He's going Ling Hydra, or Ling Bane Hydra. Again, a very good composition against Stalker Oracle. The Lings and Banelings deal with the ground army. The Hydras support these Lings with against the Stalkers, and also do a great job at shutting down these Oracles as well. This can also seamlessly transition into Lurker play, in case we need to go there. As the Stalkers have arrived, they take down one of the Queens already. A high energy Queen at that. Good start here from MaxPax. Lings are setting up for a surround, but there is a stasis trap. Solo does have to be careful. Does he have eyes on the 4th? He has seen the 4th base already taken here for MaxPax. Ooh, shield battery is looking exposed. Does force the defensive warping back at home. Meanwhile, Hydras are now being produced. Good target firing out of MaxPax. He does get another Queen. I don't know if Solar has actually seen the stasis traps, but so far he's done a good job at avoiding them. But no, the Queens are exposed. The Queens are going to be going down. Lings coming from behind. They trigger the stasis traps, and here we go. Now Solar can commit. No, he takes a massive stasis to the face. Not the face. And he is going to be forced back. Oh my god. As the final stasis traps are triggered. Solar, though, has quite a bit of momentum. He is going to force a recall. What do we have at the 4th base? We have a massive Stalker army lying in wait. We are up to 22 Stalkers going up against 60 Lings and 16 Hydras. But Solar, he's been able to jump to 74. He does have a massive army here lying in wait, looking to dive onto the 4th or even the 3rd base. Which one do we go for? Stalkers pushing in towards the Hydras. Banelings rolling into that 3rd as well. Overcharge is not going to be enough. The 3rd base is about to be broken. Meanwhile, the Stalkers are zoned away from the 3rd of MaxPax as well. He is being pushed back. Banelings aren't going to be wasted. They are being pulled back towards the 3rd base, towards the main army. I appreciate it. These Stalkers are trading well against these Hydras. Not going to lie, they're actually getting quite a lot of value here. Colossus also arrives. Solar is going to be forced back. He hasn't killed the base. He hasn't really touched the economy. Solar, this push was good, but because the Hydras are busy with those Stalkers, because the Banelings weren't able to find any connections, MaxPax, he keeps his base alive and he keeps his worker count alive as well. Crazy. Again, so much more damage should have been done. At least the Nexus should have gone down, but alas, Solar, he was focusing on the army instead, focusing on trying to get some other damage done in the natural. Didn't work out, and as a result, MaxPax, he doesn't just survive, I would say he's in a better position right now than Solar. Just because of the Colossus. Colossi production is huge. Colossus is good against they're good against Hydras, Lings, and Banelings. This should force Lurkers out of Solar. I think he's being a little bit stubborn. I don't blame him. But I do think he should be taking up into Hive. I understand that he doesn't want to, just because Lurker play may even force Sky Toss, and we may end up in another late game scenario. But Ling, Bane, Hydra, as the Colossus count gets higher, this army gets weaker. Now we still only have 2 Colossi, so this is manageable. We can see the Stasis Trap is about to run out. Solo wants to collapse in this army. He wants to go for the kill. Can he pull this off, though? He's trying to come in from behind as well. But no, he cannot close the distance. At the same time, 10 drones go down. Solar is hurting. He's forcing himself all in. There's no Infestation Pit. There's no Hive Tech. There's no drones either, as we're down to 67 workers. Solar this time coming in for the surround. The Colossus are looking exposed. One Colossus is going to fall. But I do think that MaxPax is doing a good enough job here at preserving the rest of his units. Stasis Trap goes off. The Nexus is going to go down, but for the cost of every single Hydra, GG gets called, and MaxPax takes game number 1. GG. Fun fact, in that game, Solar 100%. He 100% had the option to like try and transition out of that. He chose not to, and I don't blame him. I think Solar, he's had enough late game. I think he's had enough of Sky Toss, and he's like, I just want this to be over. He went for the second wave, the second push, alas, didn't do enough. You could argue as well that after Solar, after the failed attack at the first failed attack at the third base, then Solar's behind, like he's behind enough to warrant him to just commit to an all-in anyway. I can guarantee you though, if Dark was in Solar's position, and if that attack had failed for Dark, he would just throw down Infestation Pit, throw down the Lurker Den, and start making Lurkers. But he's crazy like that. Dark is willing to slow the game down to a crawl just for a win. Solar, he's, you know, the stamina that he must have is crazy. But yeah, he does decide to tap out there in the end. Did commit to the all-in, and now we're getting to game number 2. Let's go. Here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gressvan, we have the Danish Protoss player, currently leading the series 1-0, representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Oddside Gaming. Down in this series, but not out. It's a best of 5. Plenty more games ahead of us. It is Solar. Here we go. We are loading into Gressvan, another defensive map. Potentially a defensive map for MaxPax, but yeah, we'll see how Solar approaches it as well. Again, he went for a very committed attack in that last game. Wasn't able to accomplish too much with it. Here on Gressvan, 3 base all-ins are very common from the Zerg, to go for something like 3 base saturation, between 66 and 70 workers, Ling Bane Roach Ravager, and you just constantly crash into the 3rd base or the 4th base. So the 3rd base of the Protoss player. Is Solar one to do that though? Is he one to try to be that aggressive, or is he going to go for a longer game? If so, this isn't a bad map for it. Gressfan has been split in half many a time in this matchup by the Protoss player, and yeah, you can force a late game scenario out of it, but I don't know if that's what MaxPax wants either. You know, we got to think about the players. We got to think about what they want, who they are, where they be, where they at. A la galera. I think Light hit the nail on the head. Solo didn't take a break after 1 hour game. He's smurging. True. The smurge is real. Solar, he may have won against Nightmare, but did he really win? What did he lose though? What did he lose to make that win happen? His humanity, his optimism, his smile. He lost his smile, Papi. Oh, it's all smurge now. Not like this. Not like this. As MaxPax is going for a Stargate opener back at home, as to be expected. Nothing too crazy, no Twilight Council openers out of MaxPax, not here in Game 2 at least. Everything's looking normal, very similar to the previous game. Standard openers all around. Hatchcast pull out of Solar as well, forces like the unnatural natural. I imagine he should be working towards a fast Evo chamber like he did in the previous game, but we'll see. We'll see. Shall see as the Adepts have arrived. Oh, they're going for the drone damage. Oh, no, they go for the Lings instead. They do force a lot of lost mining time, though, as the drones are finally coming back to work. Not a bad trade here from our Protoss. 6 Lings go down for 1 Adept. Well worth it here for MaxPax, as the first Oracle has arrived. Zooming across the map. I don't even know what time the Korean qualifier starts tonight, actually. Double check. The Oracle's just sharking around for some damage. Lings do rock up, and oh, we are going to be able to lay the third base at least a little bit. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Looks like we did force a cancel. I'm double checking. 9 p.m. Yes, let's go. It's gonna be a later cast tonight, which means I can sleep. Oh my god, okay. As Solar, interesting stuff is going on. We don't have a fast Evo chamber for +1 melee. To get link speed, we're going for, that was a 425. Pretty standard timing here for the lair. We should be throwing down a Roach Warren soon. If not, I'm curious. Sparked my interest, Solar. So typically at around the halfway mark here, that's when we throw down the Roach Warren, at around the 5-minute mark, I should say, for the Zerg. We throw down the Roach Warren so it lines up with Roach speed. But the Oracles are diving in. Ooh, a lot of damage is being done. The Queens are out of position. 5 drones go down. Ooh. Oh my god. For the price of an Oracle. At least the Oracle does fall. No Roach Warren. What is this a Ling Queen Nidus all in? This is so not Solar. Yeah, it's a Ling Queen Nidus all in. Okay. I think this is the first time I've seen Solar go for this. This is a very dark move. This is a very ZBT build against Protoss. I mean, we do have a vision into the main base, to be fair. What do we have to work with here? We have 4 Stalkers, 3 Adepts, 2 Oracles. MaxPax hasn't scouted this. I kind of like... Oh, never mind. She sees. The Adepts shade in. Looking here, it looks like the Nidus has been spotted. Before that can happen, though, we get a full surround on these Stalkers. Solar trading so efficiently here with his army. Nidus is on the way in the main base. This has been spotted by MaxPax. Can he stop the Nidus from getting up? He just doesn't have a lot of army. Up. Nidus will be denied. So far, MaxPax is holding. He's going to be losing some probes. Nidus is going to be thrown down on the front lines instead. Solar still committing to the all-in. But MaxPax has a lot of time to prepare. I mean, I say that these shield batteries and cannons are delayed. They are late. MaxPax may just have to give up on his on his third base. Don't give up on the natural. So Lings are arriving. The Stalkers are wedging themselves in the mineral line to reduce that surface area. Blink is not done yet. Overcharge putting in a lot of work. Meanwhile, we have another Nidus in the main base. Has this been spotted by MaxPax? It barely has been, but it may finish. We can see. Yeah, Solar, he's transferring over into the main. MaxPax isn't ready. He has a shield battery. He has a cannon, sure. Oh, good. But the Lings have made it into the main base. They're just wreaking havoc, killing everything in their path. MaxPax was not able to respond in time. The Queens have arrived, and Solar, he is fighting back in this series. Going for an all-in that I haven't seen him go for before in this matchup. But you know what? He is completely capable of doing so. He's having some fun. He is having fun. Ugh. Yeah, quite a lot in the main. From here, he can rotate over towards that third base once again. He takes down the Twilight Council. The gateways as well. Link Stalkers are doing what they can. We do see Solar is droning behind this. He's not gonna go all in, or he's transitioning out of the all in. I love it as the Queens keep the Stalkers busy. The Lings, they go first around on the Nexus as well. Solar's overextending. He's gonna be losing a lot of these Queens. Not what we want to be seeing. But the base does go down, and now Solar can get the hell out of here. No! The Queens are stuck. Ooh. 4 Queens did go down alongside 129 Lings. But Solar, he got the base. That is what is important. The base did go down. We can see MaxPax trying to establish another Nexus here at the 4th base location. We can see that the worker counts are pretty similar. Ooh, Solar supply blocked. A heavy supply block for Solar. 7 overlords. A laser, is that you? 11. Sorry, 7 overlords are on the way. Ay, ay, ay. So, not a seamless transition out of Solar, but he is transitioning. Working on Roach speed. No upgrades, no Evo chambers. Just roaches for the time being. He's also not droning too much, actually. Okay, there we go. Okay. Getting another base up and running. So I'm curious if Solar is going to actually saturate his 4th, or if he's only making a handful of workers and he plans on remaxing with Roach Ravager instead. And going for like a second all-in. My money right now is on a second all-in because Solar doesn't have any upgrades. There are no Evo chambers. It looks like he doesn't really plan on having too much longevity in this game. 4th base is spotted. The wall's on the wall. No, the Lings, they do make it into the main base. They'll do warp in just in time. The MaxPax is going to be able to defend. Meanwhile, the Stalkers are rocking up as well. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, Solar's already going all in anyway. MaxPax is playing with fire. Oof. Does trade well against the Lings with the Roaches. They come in from behind. A lot of Stalkers are going down. Too many Stalkers are falling here. MaxPax losing too much on the offensive. And again, Solar was already going in. He already wanted to fight the army of MaxPax. He is here. Oh boy. And yeah, MaxPax is gonna have a hard time defending. Not an impossible time. He can definitely pull this off, especially if he has shield batteries and cannons to support him. Solar is rocking up. He's going to be pushing forward here with his Roaches, diving on top of these Stalkers. Once again, we do have a couple of shield batteries set up there, so MaxPax is able to pull back to them at least. Meanwhile, Nidus finishes up in the main base. Ooh, Queen's wreaking havoc. Solar is maxed out, and he is just unrelenting. And it looks like Solar may just have too much. I mean, actually, he's going to be losing all of his queens in his main. And once they get cleaned up, then MaxPax can rotate on over with the rest of his Stalkers. He can actually still pull off a defense. MaxPax, he can pull this off. A lot of Stalkers are going to be going down, but we have more where that came from. But he's being zoned away. It looks like with these Zella reinforcements, MaxPax, he is barely holding on. Once he breaks through the line of roaches, he can get on top of the Ravagers, but here come the reinforcements. Oh, God. They don't take long at all to come in. This was a tight defense. Very close. Yeah, it looks like the third base has been broken. MaxPax does have a decent army. He does finally take down that Nidus. Other probes, though. Every single probe is going to be going down. This makes it worth it for Solar. This means he can transition out. He's done enough damage. He has done more than enough. Takes down the Cyber Core as well. And MaxPax, he can go into a couple of different directions. He can either try and rebuild and reestablish himself and go for a more macro game, or he can go for his own counter-offensive. That's if he survives, as the third base even goes down as well. I thought maybe that MaxPax would be able to save it, but no. The Nexus does go down. Meanwhile, Solar, he's getting a 5th base. He's getting fully saturated, taking his gases. Now finally working on +1 range and bailing speed. Finally working on some upgrades. Here we go. We have the, what is this, wave 3? As Solar has Remax once again. We do have Storm available here for MaxPax. Do have Storm. But Storm just tickles Roach Ravager. Not the most ideal spell or form or splash damage available for MaxPax. The bars will connect. Another Archon goes down. MaxPax has been on the back foot for quite some time, for almost this entire game. Trying to hold on, he's trying. Oh, but the High Templar, they're exposed. The Blink, it does expose them. Every High Templar goes down. The Archons as well, and it looks like Solar has finally done it. After a 15-minute all-in. I mean, Zelts are coming into reinforce, though. Bailings aren't done quite yet. It looks like MaxPax can actually take a fight. Not one to underestimate. Bailings, they do finish just in the nick of time. MaxPax is forcing back the main army. Oh my god. The upgrades as well from MaxPax are insane. He's working on 3-1. No wonder he's been fighting so well despite being so heavily far behind in the army supply. Army is just so high quality, so efficient. MaxPax, he does see the Nidus ahead of time. Rotate over towards the south instead. We can see MaxPax was a bit out of position. Nidus in the main does not finish. Uh-oh, speaking of being out of position, Solar. A little bit of mispathing there. Does lose a lot of his army. As we can see, Solar's trying to split apart the attention of MaxPax. I do think that despite MaxPax being down in supply, could still be close. But without disruptors, without immortals, without these robo-based units, I don't know. Still very close. Solo just on 3 base saturation, as in 66 drones. That's all he needs. He maxes out on Ling Bane Roach Ravager. MaxPax is able to buy some time with this run by. Can MaxPax get a 4th? Nah. If he can get a 4th up and running, then this would be a different game, but we do see the force cancel. And with that, he's just suffocating. He's being strangled out right before our eyes. I don't blame him for staying in this. They're the Mailings. I don't blame him for staying in this, just because, again, the quality of his army is pretty good. Sorry, I was just stretching. I was just stretching, Papi. But yeah, the quality of his army is really good, but yeah, it still is kind of a numbers game. With this kind of army, with this composition, he shouldn't be able to punch up and, you know, and somehow overcome an 80 supply deficit or even 100 supply deficits. As here we go, we do see Solar snowballing out of control. GG gets called, and Solar takes game number 2. We have a series. We're going the distance. We're going all the way, Papi, to game number 3. Let's go. Going to game 3. Now, this is still best of 5, so still plenty more games ahead of us. But yeah, Solar going for a Lin Queen Nidus all in. I'll be honest, I haven't seen him do that before in ZVP. Obviously, I know the build exists, and we've seen players like Miyamaika and Dark use it to great effect. But based on what we just saw, I do think that there is some validation in the theory of Solar being really worn out after a series against Nightmare and really not having the patience any longer anymore to go for a late game scenario. He wants to end these games early. Based on these last 2 games, that's kind of my thought process right now. We'll see if we get any indication of anything otherwise, but both game 1 and game 2, Solar did go for all-ins. Now we're getting to game number 3. Número 3. Nightmare could have countered with Zealot 4K Mineral Bank. Sure. I don't think that would have changed anything, though. Don't think that would have done much. As we're getting into this and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the Danish Protoss player representing Storm Gaming in a tied-up series, dropping that last game, forced to play out something a little bit longer. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Onside Gaming, tying up the series 1-1 in that last game. It is Solar. Catching him in the chat. Qualifier for which tournaments? It is the Masters Coliseum qualifier. So last night we casted the Asia qualifier, which is like Southeast Asia, Oceania, China. So last night we casted the Asia qualifier for the Masters Coliseum. Tonight is the Korean qualifier. Tonight is the Korean qualifier. It is in 7 hours. 7 hours. And I am planning to sleep for at least 4 of them. I need at least another 4 hours of sleep so I can... So, like, cumulatively, combined, it'll be 8 hours. 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the evening. Copium. That's how it works, right? That's how it works. But yeah, this is not our... We are going to be casting two events today. 2 events. So it's definitely something to look forward to. here we go. Here in game 3. What kind of all-in will Solo go for this time? That is the question. That is the question. Do we get another all-in of some kind? We'll see. As for the time being, Hatch Gas Pool. Natural base was taken from Solar, so it won't be forced to take any kind of weird base in the early game. This does mean that Solar's going to have an easier defense against Oracles and an easier defense against Adepts. We'll have better creep spread, better queen positioning. Things will be a little bit less awkward as MaxPax once again goes for less Stargate. Once again. Stargate is on the way. And with that, we should be working towards Oracles. I don't think MaxPax is the kind of player to spice things up like the way that Nightmare did. I don't think MaxPax is the kind of player to go for, say, like a Void Ray or like Void Ray into Oracle and then into Glaive Adepts. I don't think he's one to hide his tech in such a manner. When I think of MaxPax, I just think of like a solid player, especially in the mid game of this matchup. Like he has really good army control, really good micro positioning, timings, so just good stuff. It is an Oracle first. There we have it. This is going to be the Oracle coming out. With this, it's going to give him a lot of map control, it's going to give him a lot of harassment options, and it should facilitate for MaxPax expanding and taking a third base. Meanwhile, Solar is hiding his Overlord over on the left-hand side, waiting for the moment to jump in for another scout. Hoping to avoid a Void Ray, if a Void Ray does come out first. Meanwhile, the Oracle is revealed to Solar, so now he knows it's a Stargate opener, now he knows it's not Void Ray first. And he even has eyes on the would-be third. Go. As the first two Oracles hit the field, it is going to be a triple Oracle opener, which again is very standard. We have two Oracles to harass. The third Oracle comes out just in time to protect the third base in case there was a Ling run by. Alas, we know that there is none. As the Oracles, they dive in, and they're going to be able to get a couple of drone kills. 3 drones will go down. Ooh, good target firing, and oh my god, an Oracle goes down already. Little bit of an overextension there from MaxPax. Losing an Oracle for 3 drones is not worth it whatsoever. The second Oracle as well, very battered, very bruised. Not the best start here for MaxPax. He's coming out with another, with his third Oracle. There is no Spore in at the third base. The Adepts, they're heading in. Oh. 5 drones do go down. Solar being punished for being out of position and not having a Spore at his third. 5 drones go down. And that does help him. That does help it be worth it here for MaxPax. 8 drones for the price of 1 Oracle. That's a much better trade. Much better trade. Oh my. So behind this, we do see MaxPax wants to be pretty aggressive as he does defend. He's going to be going for a Twilight Council on a Forge, yes, as is standard, but we're going for +1 and charge. We're not going for blink, actually. We are going for charge instead. With this, we can hit a pretty strong timing, especially with the first wave of High Templar and Archons. That's if we go for Archon production, though. For the time being, that's not quite what we're going for. Meanwhile, cute micro here out of Solar, fully walling off, denying entry of those Adepts, denying the shade. Meanwhile, Ling Hydra is the composition, or Ling Bane Hydra is the composition of choice here from Solar. I was really curious because there was no Roach Warren yet, and we already had our lair. So I was like, what are we going for exactly? What's the plan? It's going to be those Hydras. I am a little bit concerned for Solar safety right now. I do think that MaxPax has a lot of potential here with his army. With this timing, I should say. Roaches are such a well-rounded unit. They can do so well against... Well, they can do okay against Stalkers, but they can do so well against Charge Lots and Adepts. Wing Hydra can have a bit of a harder go at it here. Especially without Banelings. We need Banelings, as we can see a lot of Lings are being shaved off by these Zealots. At least the army composition has been spotted. At least MaxPax knows about Charge. I mean, sorry, Solo knows about Charge. Of course, MaxPax knows as well, to be fair. He does know. And here we go. This is the moment that I was waiting for. We aggressively warping the High Templar across the map. We are hitting with 3 Archons already. The goal here, to kill a base. At least kill a base. Here we go, the Archons, they do lead the charge. Zealots are getting into the... Well, they're trying to get into the mineral line as well. Hydras have arrived. Baileys are looking for those connections. It looks like MaxPax should be able to hold on across the map. Ling run by, oh, doesn't get too much done. Meanwhile, Zealots do wreak havoc here. 6 drones go down. Zealots being warped into the natural as well. MaxPax hitting 3 locations at once, pulling Solar apart. Eventually, Solar's going to clean up this aggression, but 7 drones did go down. We don't get the base, though. Oh, my God. Base does not go down. Survive. Solar at a worker disadvantage, but outside of that, Solar looking good. Ooh, even catches some of these Archons as well. MaxPax slipping up a little bit. Very nice pickoffs out of Solar. Very nicely done indeed. As Solar is going for a really committed push here. He's going to be cutting workers at 69. Nice. But this is basically 3-base saturation. This is actually exactly what Solar did on Altitude, if you recall, in game number 1, where he's just focusing everything on Ling, Bane, Hydra, just focusing everything on this one big push. Once again, MaxPax is going to take the role of the defender. Banelings, they do roll in, but they're denied entry into that 3rd base. The 4th, likewise, good reactions out of MaxPax. He does pull back his workers in time. Solar is teching though. That's the big difference. If you remember, on Altitude, Solar, he refused to tech, he refused to switch things up. Here on Ancients, he's accepting his fate as, oh my God, damage is done. GG though is called. And MaxPax, he holds, he takes the game. Takes game number 3. Solar not too happy with how much damage he was able to pull off. He did kill a mineral lion. I don't know if you saw on the left hand side there, but 17 probes went down. Like, economic damage was being done, but it did look like there was another Zealot run by going on as well, so Solar was going to be losing a lot of drones at home. He did have an infestation bit on the way, but it looks like Solar, he wanted to at least deny a base, at least kill either the 3rd or the 4th, and he was not able to do so. Solar does tap out, and now MaxPax is 1 game away from advancing on advancing on what? From becoming this week's champion. 1 game away. Uno mas. Uno mas is all that MaxPax needs. Once again, I still am of the belief that Solar is just going for all in after all in because he's tired. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. It's either, look, it works or it doesn't, alright? I'm going for this push. And sure, he had infestation bit behind it, but nah, that doesn't even matter, okay? I just want to kill you. Or I want to die trying. And then we can just get into the next game. I respect it. I respect it. The bench, it calls. It calls to him. Let's go. That next game is going to be taking place on Royal Blood. Let's go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have as opponent, we have the Danish Protoss player representing Psystorm Gaming, one game away from becoming this week's champion. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have his opponent, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Onsite Gaming. Down in the series, he needs to win this game to force the ace match. It is Solar. Alright, so we've had 2 times now, we've had some 3-base all-ins, but the 3-base all-ins from Solar off of 3-base Saturation, the Lingbane Hydra, we've been seeing them on the large maps, Altitude and Ancient Cistern. Royal Blood, I don't think counts as a big map. Royal Blood is more middle of the road, I would say. Bigger than Dragon Scales, bigger than Neo Humanity, for example. So, what does Solar go for this time? We already had Linguinitis all in. I don't think we're gonna be seeing that here. Is Solar want to go for a 19 drone Ling Flood? I don't know what it is about the Korean Zergs, but they do this like 19 to 20 drone Ling Flood in ZVP quite often on Royal Blood. Fun fact, that is how Arog Fire today beat Dark, when Dark tried to go for the Ling Flood and it just did not work at all because of how narrow the entryway is into the natural. So I hope we don't see that out of Solar, but for whatever reason it seems to be a little bit trendy. Definitely keeping my eye out on Solar for that. For now, yeah, he's just happily droning, saturating his bases. All that good stuff. Lings are in production just to push away this probe. And we are droning. There we go. We are droning. We are saturating the natural base. No Ling Flood here. Thank God. I'll be honest, I'm not too fond of it on Royal Blood. It has its place. It has its place, but not here. As it is going to be a Stargate opener out of MaxPax. As to be expected. As to be expected. Going for it. Should be going for the oracles behind this as well. We do have some additional lings on the way from Solar, but it's only enough to keep up with the adept. It's nothing too massive, too major. This should be all good. The hood. It's keeping enough to surround and deal with the initial adepts. We have 2 adepts already hitting or rocking up across the map. Going to be threading a shade in towards the main base as well. Lings are here to zone them away, though. They're here to try to keep the mirror line safe and sound. Drones are pooled. And we shouldn't be losing anything. A lot of lost mining time, but no damage. No kills. And the Ling died. We don't care about the Ling. It's all good. All good. So a good defense here out of Solar. Decent damage out of MaxPax, but I'm sure he would have liked some more secure damage, like some dead drones. I'd be happy without it. And as the first oracle moves out, Solar is actually hunting down the adepts. Never mind. The adepts did reveal themselves here at the natural. I was about to say that Solar's going across map to try and deny the 3rd base, but no, he's still hunting down these adepts instead. He's going to get on top of them. Meanwhile, no Spore in the main base. 1 drone does go down. Would have been that we get a 2nd drone as well. And some larva. Good start from MaxPax. Meanwhile, the Lings are also likewise across the map as well. Now we are just transitioning. Just some proking and potting in the early game. Looking at the unit source tab here, we've been able to get 4 drone kills for 2 adepts, so not too bad here from MaxPax. He actually wants a little bit more. Still no Spore at the natural. There are queens, but that's not going to stop a couple of drones from going down. There we go. Another 3 drones will fall. So good stuff here out of MaxPax so far. as he's going into a Twilight Council and a Forge. Here on Royal Blood, I imagine it's going to be +1 Blink Stalkers this time, but, you know, Charge is always an option. There it is. It is going to be that +1 and Blink. Gateway Explosion thrown down behind this. Oh. I had an Explosion as well. 4 gates in the main, 2 in the natural, 6 in total so far. Pretty reasonable gateway count on 3 bases. Any more though, and that's when I start to get worried. Any more, and that's when we're in trouble. Until then though, Solar's playing pretty standard. He's actually got his lair on the way. Got his Roach Horn as well for Roach speed. He actually didn't go for an early Evo chamber this time. He prioritized his lair and his Roach Horn, so he's not going for a Ling heavy style. This should be for +1 range, or it should be going for at least a majority Roach heavy composition. If this is for +1 melee, then it's most likely just for run bys, or for bailing run bys even, to get it to +2 melee. Should be what it's for. Did you see that, by the way? He actually started +1 range for... There we go. He started for a second, then went for the cancel to make those additional roaches. But yeah, it is going to be range. Again, because the Evo chamber wasn't prioritized, it should be for a more roach-heavy style. Oh. Meanwhile, Infestation Pit. Interesting. Very interesting out of Solar. Before we can really talk too much about the Infestation, but the Stalkers have arrived. We are going to be applying a lot of pressure to this hatchery. Hatchery does finish. Solar going to try and push us back. We have stasis traps. Uh-oh. If we get good stasis traps, then I do think that MaxPax can deny this space. At the same time, Adept Zeus Shade into the 3rd base. We are pulling about the attention of Solar. Roaches are falling. Expensive losses for the Zerg. This is snowballing out of control. GG gets called. We won't even get to talk about the Infestation Pit as MaxPax rocks up, pulls apart Solar. This wasn't even an all-in. We had a 4th base on the way behind this. It was only 6 gateways. We had +2 and +1 armor. GG gets called. Solar gets caught with his pants down. And MaxPax is going to be this week's ESL Open Cup Americas champion. I'm waiting for the... GG, well played. Congratulations to MaxPax. Congratulations for becoming this week's champion. Solar, unfortunately, it feels like a lot of his fighting spirit did die with that game against with that hour-long game against Nightmare. Like, he was so... It felt like he had spent a lot of energy in that series. And here, again, we saw a much more erratic style from Solar in a lot of these games, and I don't blame him whatsoever. Don't blame him for having that approach after what Nightmare did to him. So I'm sure MaxPax is happy with him. I'm sure MaxPax is content. GG, well played. Okay, congratulations to MaxPax for becoming this week's champion. My condolences to Solar, but hey, at least he did hit 2nd place, you know, which is no easy feat. Solar had to bring down some big names, some big Protoss players to make it this far. So very well done. Very well done there by our 2 finalists. Congratulations to the people that did win out on the predictions, as most people did bet on MaxPax. Very understandable. Very understandable there. Yeah. Well done, well done. Meanwhile, that is us done for this morning. I say this morning because we have another broadcast in a couple of hours. 7 hours from now, we're going to be live once again with the Masters Coliseum Korean qualifiers. The Masters Coliseum, if you don't know what it is a $40,000 event, a big premier event being hosted and held by by SE Boy and the people behind World Team League. So really cool stuff. We casted the first qualifier last night. The first qualifier was the Asian qualifier, where Cyan was able to qualify from the Asian region. And up next is going to be the Korean qualifier. Tonight's the Korean qualifier. So I do wish that Solar and never mind. I was gonna say that Solar and Dark and all these Koreans get plenty of rest for the qualifier, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe both Dark and Solar are invited. There are a lot of invites for the events because of standings in Kung Fu Cup and standings in WTL. It's all hosted under the same umbrella, and because of that, there are certain players that have been seeded and invited into the main event. So it's about the others that haven't gotten that invite. So players like Björn, Maru, Cure, Solar, Dark, they're already in the event. It's players like Ragnarok and DRG and Nightmare. I think Creator maybe as well. I'm not too sure on Creator. But yeah, there's going to be a qualifier for the other Koreans to see who can make it through. I believe there are two qualifying spots for the Korean scene. So best of luck to them. And we're going to be casting that. Going to be casting that in 7 hours after I get some rest. I'm thinking if I want to get some food first and maybe like have a bite to eat and then get some veg, but I'm very tired. Oh god, it was, oh boy. These ESL Open Cup Americas, Poppy, they're not, they're so early in the morning. It's not good, but it's all good. I mean, they're good games. We had good games. We had a lot of fun. So GG, well played. I'm gonna go get some rest. I'm gonna go get some sleep. Gonna wake up in a couple of hours. I may stream before the cast. I may like squeeze in a couple of ladder games. I do want to be more consistent with my ladder games, just because we've been casting so much that I haven't had enough time to play StarCraft, and it's a shame. Like I enjoy StarCraft. I enjoy laddering. I enjoy it. But because recently I've only been able to like play once a week or something, like my skills have been getting really rusty. They've been getting really rusty, and I don't like that. I want to refine myself once again and be a little bit more competitive. But yeah, I need to actually find the time to play StarCraft to do that. So yeah, maybe I'll be able to ladder a little bit beforehand, depending on when I wake up. May stream before the cast, but we'll see. If you're interested, in that, exclamation mark light in the chat for links to my stuff, to my Twitch and to my Twitter. Otherwise, exclamation mark socials in the chat instead. If you want to follow the CranKy Ducklings, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff. We have a YouTube channel. We have a Patreon as well, where you can support us monetarily. Shout out to we got a lot of subscribers today. Shout out to the subscribers that we did get today. If you're still in the chat, you will gain access not just to the emotes, but also to replay packs. Night Lord Nate in the chat, and I believe we had another subscriber earlier as well. Just double checking. Okay, never mind, just one. I had no name in the chat. If you're still there, then yeah, if you join our Discord server, then you can get replay packs. So if you're interested, if you want to learn how to play like Rainer or Maru or Miyamaika or Cyril, then we've got a lot of replay packs out there. Oliveira, Showtime, MaxPax, all that good stuff. That we do release replay packs on a consistent basis to our subscribers and also to our patrons as well. So if you're interested, we got you covered there. Do have you covered. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thank you so much for your support. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who is it going to be? I don't know. Let's find out. Who is streaming right now? Who can we send the ducks to? The quacks to? Quack, quack, quack. Who's live? Ooh, there's Uko. Uko gives us a lot of love. So strong contender to give some love over to Uko. Unless there's another streamer that stands out. Husky's playing Brood War. Husky's playing Brood War on the StarCraft 2 game direct. Oh wait, no. He's playing Brood War in StarCraft 2. Never mind. Shaking my head. Kid Chillin'. Oh, he also actually gave us a raid yesterday as well. I'm thinking Uko or Kid Chillin'. I'm gonna flip a coin. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you guys in 7 hours for the next cast. Until then, bye. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching. Hasta luego. Hasta luego.